Listen to me. They walked over you like you were nothing. They betrayed you, humiliated you, made you question your worth. But I need you to hear this. God saw it. He saw every tear, every silent moment where you held back your pain. And let me tell you something powerful. When God sees, he moves. So you don't seek revenge. You don't beg for their approval. You don't waste your soul on proving yourself. No. You let your growth be the loudest thing in the room. Because when God elevates you, when he restores what they tried to break, that's when regret will eat them alive. Now, if you want to make them regret ever messing with you, do this. Firstly, level up in silence. Let success speak. There's something powerful about moving in silence. There's something unshakable about keeping your plans, your growth, your dreams to yourself and letting the results do all the talking. See, when people wrong you, when they betray you, when they look down on you and expect you to stay small, their biggest mistake is underestimating what happens when you stop announcing and start executing. Because the moment you shift your energy away from proving yourself to them and focus entirely on building yourself, that's the moment you take back your power. People expect reactions. They expect explanations. They expect you to need their validation. But when you go silent, when you move in a way they can't predict, that's when the tables turn. They won't see your next move. They won't know how far you come until one day they look up and realize they can't reach you anymore. That's how regret begins. Not because you told them you made it, but because they see you thriving in a life they never thought you'd have. And by the time they realize what they lost, it's too late. They lost access to the version of you they took for granted. Silence is a discipline. It's an art. It's a form of power that most people don't understand because they live in a world that craves instant validation. Everyone wants to post their plans, share their next move, announce their every step, but real strength comes from the ability to hold back, to resist the urge to prove something to people who never deserved to know your journey in the first place. You see, silence is not weakness, it's control. It's understanding that the loudest success is the one nobody sees coming. The people who wronged you, they expect noise. They expect you to beg, to explain, to try and prove that you're still valuable. But when you choose silence, you strip them of their power over you. You refuse to give them what they crave. And that silence, it speaks volumes. It forces them to wonder, to question, to regret. Because while they're busy assuming you're stuck, you're out there evolving. You're growing, healing, building a life that no longer includes them. And when they finally notice, when they realize they were wrong about you, all that's left for them is the bitter taste of regret. Think about the greatest victories in life. They don't happen with announcements. They don't happen with public declarations. They happen behind closed doors, in the quiet moments of discipline, in the unseen hours of relentless effort. Success is built in the dark, in the silence where no one is watching. That's why the greatest revenge is not words, not confrontation, not seeking validation. It's transformation. When you level up in silence, people don't see the struggle. They don't see the long nights. They don't see the sacrifices. They only see the result. And that's what leaves them speechless. The same people who doubted you, who left you, who hurt you, they won't understand how you became this version of yourself. They'll look at you and wonder how they missed it, how they failed to see your potential. And that's when regret hits them the hardest, not because you tried to make them feel it, but because you didn't, because you were too busy becoming the person they never thought you'd be. Moving in silence is not about hiding, it's about elevation. It's about shifting your focus from proving something to people to proving everything to yourself. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you step into a different kind of power. You stop seeking approval. You stop looking for recognition. You stop waiting for people to validate what you already know in your heart. You are destined for something greater. The people who underestimated you, they don't deserve a front row seat to your comeback. They don't deserve to know what's coming next. And that's the beauty of leveling up in silence. They won't see it coming. They'll only see it when it's too late. And that's when regret becomes their only reality. Not because you wanted revenge, but because your success made them realize what they lost. The truth is, people only respect results. They don't respect words. They don't respect explanations. They don't respect promises. They respect proof. And proof doesn't require an announcement. It requires execution. That's why silence is your greatest weapon. It removes the distractions, it eliminates the noise, it forces you to focus on what truly matters, your growth. The more you talk, the more energy you waste trying to convince people who never believed in you in the first place. But when you go silent, when you channel every ounce of your energy into becoming the best version of yourself, that's when real transformation happens. And transformation, that's something they can't ignore. They can pretend they don't care. They can act like it doesn't affect them. But deep down, they will feel it. Because every step you take in silence brings you one step closer to a version of yourself they'll wish they had never lost. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. You owe yourself the discipline to stay focused. You owe yourself the patience to trust the process. You owe yourself the strength to move in silence and let your success be the only thing that speaks for you. Because here's the reality. People who doubted you, who hurt you, who walked away from you, they expect you to fail. They expect you to stay the same. And the moment you give in to the temptation of proving yourself to them, you're giving them exactly what they want, your attention. But when you choose silence, when you choose to focus entirely on building the life you deserve, they lose that power over you. They lose access to your energy. And that's when regret starts creeping in, because they realize they were wrong about you and there's nothing they can do to change it. Think about the greatest comebacks in history. They weren't loud. They weren't announced. They weren't built on empty words. They were built in the quiet moments of relentless effort, in the silent grind that nobody saw. That's why your silence is your power. It keeps people guessing. It keeps them wondering. It forces them to watch from the sidelines as you become something they never expected. And the beauty of it, you never have to say a word, because your growth, your success, your evolution, it speaks for itself. And that's the ultimate regret for those who doubted you. Not that you told them you made it, but that they can see it with their own eyes and know they had nothing to do with it. So don't announce your next move. Don't seek validation from people who never saw your worth. Don't waste your energy trying to make them understand what they were too blind to see. Instead, focus on leveling up in silence. Focus on becoming so undeniable that they have no choice but to regret ever doubting you. Because at the end of the day, success is the only language they understand. And when you let your results do the talking, they will hear you loud and clear. Not because you said a word, but because your silence became the loudest thing in the room. Secondly, cut off their access to you. There comes a time when you must decide who gets access to your energy, your time, and your mind. Too often, people allow toxic individuals to linger in their lives, hoping they will change, waiting for an apology, or expecting some kind of closure. But the truth is, closure is a lie. The only real closure is when you decide to close the door yourself. When someone has disrespected you, hurt you, betrayed you, or taken you for granted, they should no longer have access to you. Not your words, not your presence, not your energy, nothing. Because access to you is a privilege and not everyone deserves it. The moment you realize that, you start taking back your power. You stop explaining, you stop arguing, and you stop trying to get them to see your worth. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. You don't need to prove anything to them. What you need is peace. And peace comes when you remove the people who disturb it. When you cut off their access, they will feel it. They will notice the silence. They will realize what they lost. And that regret, that's not your burden to carry. People will always test your boundaries. They will take as much as you allow. They will manipulate, guilt trip, and try to convince you that you're being unreasonable for protecting yourself. But hear this, your peace is not up for negotiation. Your mental and emotional well-being matter more than keeping people around who don't respect you. Cutting off access isn't about being petty. It's not about revenge. It's about self-respect. When someone has shown you who they are, believe them. Stop making excuses for them. Stop giving them chances to hurt you again. The hardest part about walking away is the emotional attachment. You may feel like you're losing something, but in reality, you're gaining yourself. And that is far more valuable than keeping someone who repeatedly proves they don't deserve you. You can't change people. You can't make them appreciate you, but you can choose to stop allowing them to drain you. You can walk away with your dignity intact. And when you do, they will feel the absence of your presence. They will feel the weight of your silence, and that is more powerful than any words you could ever say. People who don't value you always assume you'll stay. They assume they can keep hurting you, keep disrespecting you, and you'll always be there. That's why cutting off access is the most powerful move you can make. It forces them to see what life is like without you. And that realization, it stings. Because when someone gets used to mistreating you and still having you in their life, they never expect the day you walk away for good. They never think you'll be strong enough to remove yourself from their grasp. But the moment you do, they lose control. They can no longer manipulate your emotions. They can no longer depend on you always being there. And that's when regret kicks in. Not when you tell them you're leaving, not when you try to make them see what they did wrong, but when they reach for you and realize you're no longer there. When they call and you don't answer. When they try to come back and the door is locked. That's when they understand they lost something real. But by then, it's too late. People take you for granted because they assume they have unlimited access to you. They assume that no matter how they treat you, no matter how many times they hurt you, you'll always be there, waiting, hoping, forgiving. And that's why cutting them off is so powerful. It shatters their illusion. It wakes them up to the reality that you are not someone they can keep playing with. Because the moment you cut off access, you shift the power dynamic. No longer are you the one waiting for their validation. No longer are you the one hoping they change. Instead, you become the one who dictates the terms. You become the one who controls the narrative. And that's when they realize just how much they underestimated you. Because while they were busy thinking you'd never leave, you were busy finding the strength to walk away. And when they finally notice your absence, when they see you thriving without them, that's when regret hits them the hardest. They realize they had something special, something valuable, and now it's gone. And there's nothing they can do about it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that if they just explain themselves one more time, if they just express how much they were hurt, the other person will finally understand. But let me tell you something. The people who mistreat you, the ones who take you for granted, they already know what they're doing. They know when they're being disrespectful. They know when they're manipulating you. They just don't care until you stop allowing it. That's why silence is so powerful. That's why cutting them off completely is the only way to make them truly understand. Because as long as you keep engaging, as long as you keep giving them access to your emotions, they will continue to believe they have control over you. But the moment you go silent, the moment you disappear from their world, that's when reality sets in. They start to realize that maybe, just maybe, they pushed you too far. Maybe this time you're really gone. And that's when regret becomes their only companion. It's not your job to fix people who refuse to change. It's not your responsibility to keep allowing someone into your life just because you have history with them. The past does not justify keeping toxic people around in the present. What matters is how they treat you now. And if someone repeatedly disrespects you, dismisses your feelings, or takes advantage of your kindness, they don't deserve access to you. It doesn't matter if they're family. It doesn't matter if you've known them for years. It doesn't matter if you love them. Love is not a reason to tolerate mistreatment. Love is not a reason to accept disrespect. You have to love yourself enough to walk away from anyone who does not appreciate your presence. And when you do, they will notice, they will feel the shift, they will feel the loss, because the truth is, people don't realize the value of what they have until it's gone. And by the time they do, you'll be too far ahead for them to reach. Cutting off access is about protecting your energy. It's about choosing peace over chaos. It's about refusing to waste any more time on people who only bring negativity into your life. When you finally remove someone who has been draining you, you will feel lighter. You will feel freer. You will realize just how much their presence was weighing you down. And that's when you'll know you made the right choice, because the moment you walk away, the moment you reclaim your power, the moment you stop entertaining people who don't deserve you, that's when you truly start to elevate. And the people who took you for granted, they will feel it. They will wonder why they no longer have access to you. They will question why you no longer respond. And that silence, it will speak louder than any words ever could. Because regret doesn't come when you tell them they lost you. Regret comes when they finally realize it themselves. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. You don't owe anyone a second, third, or fourth chance to keep hurting you. You owe yourself the freedom to move forward without the weight of toxic people holding you back. Cutting off access is not about revenge. It's about self-respect. It's about making a statement without ever saying a word, because when you truly walk away, when you truly remove someone from your life, they will feel it. They will understand, maybe for the first time, that they pushed too far, that they lost someone who genuinely cared. And that realization, it will haunt them in ways you could never imagine. Because nothing stings more than knowing you had something valuable and let it slip away. Nothing hurts more than realizing you lost someone who was irreplaceable. And by the time they come to that conclusion, by the time they try to make things right, you'll already be gone. Not out of anger, not out of spite, but because you finally realize that you deserve better. And once you understand that, there is no going back. Thirdly, turn pain into power. Pain is a universal experience. No one escapes it. No one walks through life without feeling the sting of betrayal, the weight of disappointment, or the heartbreak of loss. But what separates the strong from the weak, the winners from the defeated, is what they do with that pain. Most people let it break them. They drown in it. They let it consume them, define them, and trap them in a cycle of misery. But the ones who rise, the ones who transform their lives, they take that pain and turn it into power. They don't sit in self-pity. They don't wait for someone to save them. They take every ounce of suffering and use it as fuel to push forward, to grow, to become something greater than they ever imagined. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher. It is the fire that forges the strongest warriors. It shows you what you're made of. It exposes your weaknesses, but it also reveals your strength. And when you learn to harness that pain, when you refuse to let it break you, that's when you become unstoppable. Because the ones who have suffered the most often rise the highest. There are two types of people in this world: those who let pain control them, and those who take control of their pain. The first group, they let it turn them bitter, resentful, and afraid. They let it keep them in a state of anger, blaming everyone and everything for what they've been through. They replay the past in their minds over and over, trapping themselves in an endless cycle of regret and sadness. But the second group, they make a different choice. They take that pain, and instead of letting it destroy them, they let it drive them. They use it to push themselves harder, to become stronger, to build a life that makes the suffering worth it. They don't sit around complaining. They don't wait for justice or an apology. They don't waste energy on people who hurt them. They take that energy and pour it into themselves. They build, they grow, they evolve. They take every tear, every scar, every heartbreak, and they turn it into something powerful. Because the truth is, pain can either be your prison or your power, and the choice is always yours. Pain will introduce you to parts of yourself you never knew existed. It will push you to your limits. It will test your patience, your resilience, and your will to keep going. But here's the secret. Pain is not there to destroy you. It's there to awaken you. It forces you to dig deep, to confront your fears, and to develop a strength you never knew you had. The people who become the most powerful in life are not the ones who have had it easy. They are the ones who have walked through fire, who have faced devastation, who have been knocked down so many times but refused to stay there. They are the ones who looked pain in the eye and said, "You will not break me," because every setback, every heartbreak, every moment of suffering is an opportunity to rise stronger. It's an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to become a new version of you that is wiser, tougher, and more resilient. The most powerful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding pain. They got there by embracing it, by using it, by letting it sharpen them into warriors. One of the biggest lies people believe is that pain is a curse, that it's something to be avoided, something to run from. But the truth, pain is a blessing, because pain wakes you up. It forces you to grow. It makes you uncomfortable, and in that discomfort, you find who you really are. You don't discover your strength when everything is easy. You don't find out what you're made of when life is smooth. You discover it when you're broken, when you're lost, when everything feels like it's falling apart. That's when your true power is revealed. That's when you have a choice, to let pain define you or to use it to redefine yourself. The strongest people in the world, the most successful, the most resilient, they didn't get there by avoiding pain. They got there by facing it head on, by refusing to let it break them. They let it mold them, shape them, push them beyond what they thought was possible, and because of that, they became unstoppable. Pain is not the end. It is the beginning of something greater if you let it be. Every hardship you've ever faced was a lesson. Every betrayal, every disappointment, every heartbreak, It all happened to shape you into the person you are meant to be. The problem is, most people focus on the pain itself instead of the lesson. They get stuck in the emotions, in the hurt, in the anger. But if you step back, if you look deeper, you'll realize that every painful experience was teaching you something. It was making you stronger, wiser, more aware. It was showing you who you could trust, what you needed to change, and what you were capable of overcoming. Pain is not pointless. It is a roadmap. It is guiding you, pushing you, preparing you for something greater. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you learning from it, or are you just letting it consume you? The most powerful people in the world take their pain and turn it into wisdom. They don't just survive, they evolve. And that evolution, that's where true power is born. Because the person who learns from pain, the one who uses it instead of being used by it, is the one who becomes truly unstoppable. Most people run from pain. They try to numb it, ignore it, or pretend it's not there. But the ones who become the strongest, they do the opposite. They embrace it, they sit with it, they feel every ounce of it. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because they understand something most people don't. Pain is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. The moment you stop running from pain and start facing it, something changes inside you. You stop being afraid, you stop being a victim, you stop allowing circumstances to dictate your life. Instead, you take control. You take every bit of that pain and turn it into motivation. You use it to push harder, to go further, to become more than you ever thought possible, because pain is energy, and energy can be transformed. You can either let it drain you or let it drive you. The choice is yours. But the people who succeed, the ones who rise above every obstacle, they all made the same choice. They chose to turn their pain into power, and because of that, they became unstoppable. There is nothing more powerful than a person who has been broken and rebuilt themselves. A person who has faced rock bottom and refused to stay there. A person who has taken every scar, every wound, every loss, and used it to create something greater. That kind of person cannot be shaken. That kind of person cannot be controlled, because they have already faced the worst and survived it. They have already been through the fire and come out stronger. They know that pain is not the enemy, weakness is. And pain destroys weakness. It exposes it, burns it away, and leaves behind something unbreakable. The moment you realize this, the moment you stop fearing pain and start using it, your entire life changes. You stop being controlled by your past. You stop being limited by your circumstances. You step into a version of yourself that is powerful beyond measure. Because pain does not destroy the strong, it builds them. It refines them. It turns them into something greater. And once you understand that, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. You are not defined by what has happened to you. You are defined by what you do with it. Life will throw pain at you. People will hurt you. Circumstances will challenge you. But none of that matters. What matters is what you do next. Will you let pain break you? Will you let it make you bitter, weak, afraid? Or will you use it? Will you take every tear, every setback, every moment of suffering and turn it into something powerful? That choice is yours. No one can make it for you. No one can save you. No one can do the work but you. But if you choose to rise, if you choose to transform your pain into strength, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Because the people who have suffered the most often become the strongest. The ones who have faced the darkest nights often shine the brightest. And if you take your pain and turn it into power, you will become unstoppable, not because life was easy, but because you refuse to let it break you. Fourthly, glow up in every way possible. There comes a time in life when you have to make a decision, stay the same or evolve into something greater. Too many people get comfortable in their pain, in their struggles, in their past mistakes, and they stop growing. They let life beat them down, and instead of rising, they settle. But the ones who truly win in life, the ones who step into their power, they make a different choice. They decide to glow up in every way possible. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. They refuse to remain the same. They refuse to be stuck. They take every lesson, every struggle, and they use it as fuel to become the best version of themselves. A true glow up isn't just about looking better, it's about being better. It's about upgrading every part of your life, leveling up in ways that make people wonder how you did it. It's about becoming unrecognizable to the people who once doubted you. When you truly glow up, you don't need to announce it. Your energy shifts. Your presence changes. And the same people who once overlooked you won't be able to ignore you anymore. Your glow up starts in the mind. Before you change anything else, you have to change your mindset. Because nothing in your life will improve if your thoughts are still stuck in the past, in self-doubt, in negativity. Your mind is the foundation for everything. If you believe you are stuck, you will be stuck. If you believe you are weak, you will be weak. If you believe you are meant for more, you will find a way to achieve more. Everything begins with what you tell yourself daily. That's why you must reprogram your mind to think differently. You must start feeding it with belief, discipline, and resilience. You must refuse to entertain negative thoughts, self-pity, and anything that drains your energy. Your mindset controls your reality. You cannot have a powerful glow up with a weak mind. You cannot elevate your life while still holding on to thoughts that keep you small. The most powerful change you will ever make is within. And once you change how you think, you will naturally change how you live. Because when your mind is powerful, your life follows. A true glow up means healing from what broke you. Too many people try to change their lives without dealing with the wounds of their past. They want success, happiness, and love, but they're still carrying unhealed pain, resentment, and insecurity. And that will always hold you back. You cannot glow up when you are still shackled to old pain. You must heal. You must confront what hurt you. You must face yourself in the mirror and deal with everything you've been avoiding. Healing is not easy, but it is necessary. Because when you heal, you free yourself. You let go of the weight that has been slowing you down. You make room for new blessings, new opportunities, new happiness. Your glow up is not just about proving people wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you deserve better. And that starts with healing. Because a person who is healed from their past radiates differently. Their energy is unshakable. Their confidence is unbreakable. And when you finally heal, you will realize that your glow was inside you all along. It was just buried under the weight of the past. Your glow up isn't just about how you look, but don't get it twisted. How you present yourself matters. Your appearance is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. If you neglect your body, if you let yourself go, if you don't take care of yourself, it shows, and people will treat you accordingly. But when you start investing in yourself, when you dress better, when you take care of your health, when you prioritize self-care, you send a message to the world and to yourself that you are valuable. Looking good is not about vanity. It's about self-respect. It's about showing up for yourself every single day, no matter what. It's about walking with confidence, knowing that you are a person of worth. When you glow up physically, you don't just attract attention, you attract opportunities. Because people are drawn to those who carry themselves with self-respect and high standards. The way you take care of yourself is a reflection of what you believe you deserve. And when you start treating yourself like you are valuable, the world will have no choice but to follow. Financial glow up is just as important as anything else. Too many people focus on looking good while their bank account is struggling. That's not a glow up. That's an illusion. True elevation includes financial independence, discipline, and smart decision making. It means learning how to manage money, how to invest, how to build wealth. It means stepping out of survival mode and stepping into abundance. Because when you have financial freedom, you have options. You don't have to tolerate toxic relationships, bad jobs, or situations that drain you. Money is not just about material things. It's about security, about peace, about control over your life. A real glow up includes financial wisdom. It means making smarter choices, cutting out unnecessary spending, and learning how to grow your income. It means thinking long term, not just for today. The most powerful version of you is not just physically attractive or mentally strong, it is financially stable. Because when your money is right, your mind is at peace. And when your mind is at peace, you move through life differently. Your circle will change when you glow up. The people you used to vibe with may no longer align with who you are becoming. And that's okay. A real glow up means outgrowing people, environments, and situations that no longer serve you. It means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, inspire you, and push you to be better. Because if you are the smartest, strongest, or most successful person in your circle, you are in the wrong circle. You cannot glow up while staying around people who drain you, who doubt you, who hold you back. You must be willing to walk alone if it means protecting your peace and elevation. The wrong people will try to guilt you, make you feel like you're changing too much, like you're leaving them behind. But understand this, you are not responsible for staying small to make others comfortable. Your glow up will make some people uncomfortable. Let it. Because the right people, the ones meant for you, will celebrate your growth, not resent it. Your spiritual glow up is just as important as your mental, physical, and financial growth. Because at the end of the day, no amount of success or beauty can fill the void of an empty soul. You must be connected to something greater than yourself. You must have faith, purpose, and inner peace. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your way. And if your spirit is weak, you will break. But when you are grounded, when your soul is aligned, nothing can shake you. A true glow up means finding your purpose, living with intention, and protecting your peace at all costs. It means cutting out anything that disrupts your spirit, whether that's toxic people, negative energy, or distractions that pull you away from your goals. When your spirit is strong, you radiate differently, you attract differently, you move differently, and that kind of glow cannot be faked or imitated. It comes from within. And when you have it, the world takes notice. Your glow up is not about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about stepping into your highest potential, about refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's about looking in the mirror and being proud of who you see. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Not validation from others, not applause, but self-respect. The real glow up is an inside job. It's about making every part of your life better, stronger, and more fulfilling. It's about walking through life with confidence, knowing that you built yourself from the ground up. The world will notice. The people who doubted you will notice, but most importantly, you will notice. And when you finally step into your power, when you finally become the version of yourself you were meant to be, there will be no stopping you. Because your glow up is not just a phase, it is a transformation. It is the beginning of something greater than you ever imagined. Fifthly, never let them see you bitter. Pain has a way of changing people. When you've been betrayed, when you've been used, when you've been taken for granted, it's easy to let that pain turn into bitterness. It's easy to walk around with a hardened heart, with resentment running through your veins. But the moment you let them see you bitter, they win. The moment you show them that what they did still controls you, they know they have power over you. And you can't let that happen. You cannot let the actions of others dictate your peace, your happiness, or your spirit. People will disappoint you, they will hurt you, they will do things that you never saw coming. But how you respond is what defines you. Do not give them the satisfaction of seeing you broken. Do not let them walk away knowing they took your joy with them. The strongest thing you can do is rise above it. The greatest revenge is not bitterness, it's indifference. It's showing them that they no longer have access to your emotions, that they no longer have the ability to shake you. You become untouchable when you refuse to let what they did change who you are. Bitterness doesn't hurt them, it only hurts you. Carrying anger in your heart is like drinking poison and expecting them to suffer. It will eat away at your peace, your energy, your joy. And the worst part, most of the time, the people who hurt you have already moved on. They're not losing sleep over what they did. They're not sitting around thinking about how they wronged you. So why should you be the one carrying all that weight? Why should you be the one allowing their actions to control your emotions? You owe it to yourself to let go, not for them, but for you. You cannot move forward if you are still chained to resentment. You cannot glow up if you are still fueled by hate. True power comes from emotional control. It comes from mastering your reactions. When they see that their betrayal didn't destroy you, when they realize that you are still thriving, still shining, still living your best life, that is when they truly regret what they did. Because nothing haunts a person more than losing access to someone they thought they could break. You must understand that people do not determine your worth. Their betrayal, their disrespect, their mistreatment of you, it says everything about them and nothing about you. Do not let their actions make you question your value. Do not let their choices make you bitter about love, about friendship, about life. Some people are temporary. Some people are lessons. And some people were never meant to be in your life forever. But the one thing you must never do is let their behavior change the goodness in you. The worst mistake you can make is allowing pain to harden you to the point where you push away the blessings that are still meant for you. Not everyone is like the ones who hurt you. Not everyone will betray you, but if you let bitterness take over, you will start seeing the world through a lens of anger, of resentment, of distrust. And that will only rob you of the happiness that is still waiting for you. Your heart was not meant to carry that kind of weight. Free yourself from it. Let them go and watch how life blesses you in ways they never could. Your silence is your power. The best thing you can do is keep moving forward without explaining yourself, without seeking closure, without trying to make them see what they lost. You don't owe them a reaction. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your pain. The moment you engage, the moment you argue, the moment you try to prove a point, you are giving them exactly what they want. Proof that they still have influence over you. And you cannot allow that. When you truly let go, you stop seeking validation from the ones who hurt you. You stop checking on them. You stop hoping they regret what they did. You stop giving them space in your mind. The most powerful thing you can do is walk away with grace, with peace, with an energy that says, I'm too focused on my future to be bothered by my past. Because when you move like that, when you carry yourself with dignity instead of bitterness, you become someone they never expected you to be, untouchable. And nothing is more haunting than knowing they no longer have access to you. Growth is the best revenge. When someone has wronged you, when someone has doubted you, when someone has taken you for granted, the most satisfying thing you can do is prove to yourself that you never needed them in the first place. Not through words, not through anger, but through action. Through becoming the best version of yourself. Through succeeding in ways they never imagined. Through living a life so full, so abundant, so peaceful, that their absence feels like a blessing, not a loss. Nothing eats away at a person more than realizing that the person they underestimated became someone they could never reach again. When you glow up mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, they will notice. They will remember. And while they are stuck in the same cycles, making the same mistakes, you will be elevating, thriving, becoming everything they doubted you could be. That is why you must never let them see you bitter, because your energy is too valuable to waste on people who were never meant to stay. Your future is too bright to be dimmed by the darkness of your past. Holding on to resentment will block your blessings. When you hold on to negativity, you are keeping yourself tied to the very people you want to move on from. You are giving them space in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. And as long as you carry that weight, you are delaying your own elevation. You are keeping yourself stuck in the past. But the moment you release it, the moment you truly let go, doors will start opening for you. Peace will start flowing into your life. You will feel lighter, freer, more powerful, because nothing is more liberating than detaching from what no longer serves you. The universe responds to your energy. When you move with love, with faith, with confidence, you attract better things, better people, better opportunities. But when you move with bitterness, with anger, with resentment, you will find yourself stuck in the same cycles, repeating the same pain. Let it go. Not for them, but for you. Because the moment you do, you make space for all the blessings that were waiting for you to release what was never meant for you. Happiness is the one thing they never expected you to find. They thought their betrayal would break you. They thought their absence would leave you empty. They thought you would spend your days bitter, waiting for their apology, waiting for their return. But when they see you smiling, when they see you glowing, when they see you living your best life without them, that is when the regret starts to hit. Because nothing haunts a person more than realizing they lost someone who never looked back. That is why you must never let them see you bitter. Instead, let them see you at peace. Let them see you thriving. Let them see you so focused on your future that their memory becomes irrelevant. Because when you move like that, when you refuse to let their actions define your happiness, you take back your power. You show them that they never had control over you. And that is the one thing they never wanted to see. You becoming better because of what they did, not despite it. So hold your head high, move with grace, and let your happiness be the proof that they no longer have a place in your life. Life has a way of working things out. The people who hurt you, the people who betrayed you, the people who thought they could get away with mistreating you, they will have to face their own consequences. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to plot their downfall. Life will handle them. And when that time comes, they will remember you. They will remember how they treated you. They will remember how they took you for granted, and they will regret it. But by then you'll be so far ahead, so elevated, so untouchable that their regret will mean nothing to you. That is why you must never let them see you bitter. Because your greatest victory is not in their downfall. It is in your elevation. It is in your ability to move forward, to heal, to become everything they never thought you could be. And when that happens, when they finally realize what they lost, they will have to live with it. While you will be too busy living the life they never thought you could have without them. And that is the ultimate power. Sixthly, be so focused they become irrelevant. There comes a point in your life when you realize that the best response to betrayal, to disrespect, to being underestimated is not anger, not bitterness, not even revenge. It's focus. It's pouring every ounce of your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. It's shifting your mindset from proving something to them to proving everything to yourself. The moment you lock in on your purpose, the moment you channel all your time, your thoughts, your actions into growth, they stop mattering. Their opinions stop affecting you. Their absence stops hurting you. Your words lose their weight. Because when you are focused, truly focused, you don't have time to entertain distractions. And that's exactly what they are, distractions. The people who hurt you, the people who doubted you, the people who left you when you needed them most, they are nothing more than roadblocks meant to keep you from reaching your highest potential. But you can't let them win. You can't let them slow you down. The more you focus on your goals, on your growth, on your future, the more irrelevant they become. And one day, you'll wake up and realize they don't even cross your mind anymore. Distractions come in many forms. Sometimes it's the people who want to drag you back into arguments, into chaos, into situations that drain your energy. Sometimes it's your own emotions, overthinking, holding on to pain, replaying moments that no longer serve you. And sometimes it's the temptation to look back, to check on them, to see if they regret losing you. But all of that takes you away from where you're supposed to be going. Every second spent on them is a second stolen from your own progress. Every time you engage, every time you react, you're giving them power they don't deserve. And you cannot afford to waste your energy like that. Your time is too valuable. Your future is too important. You have things to build, places to go, goals to accomplish. You cannot let people who don't even respect you take up space in your mind. You cannot let their actions dictate your direction. The only way to truly win, the only way to truly rise above, is to be so focused on your own growth that they fade into nothingness. Make them irrelevant by making yourself unstoppable. There is no better revenge than success. Not because you need to prove anything to them, but because success means they no longer have any control over you. When you are winning, when you are thriving, when you are building a life so full that their absence feels like a blessing instead of a loss, that is when you know you've truly moved on. But that level of success, that level of peace, only comes when you take your focus off of them and place it entirely on yourself. The minute you stop checking for them, the minute you stop wondering if they regret what they did, the minute you stop allowing their actions to affect your emotions, you take back your power, you shift the energy from them to you. And that is where real transformation happens. People who try to break you expect to live in your mind forever. They expect to be the reason you hesitate, the reason you doubt yourself, the reason you stay stuck. But you are too strong for that. You are too determined. You are too focused on your own elevation to let them hold you back. Your success is in your discipline, your ability to stay locked in on your goals, your ability to wake up every day and push forward no matter what happened in the past. That is what separates the great from the average. The people who win in life are the ones who refuse to be distracted by things that no longer serve them. They are the ones who don't waste time looking back, don't waste energy trying to get even, don't allow themselves to be pulled into meaningless drama. They move differently, they think differently. They operate with the mindset that says, I am too focused on my purpose to be bothered by my past. And because of that, they succeed. That is the mindset you need to have. No more giving your attention to people who walked away. No more wasting energy on people who didn't see your worth. No more looking for closure from people who were never meant to be in your future. The moment you cut off all mental ties to them, the moment you truly focus on your own journey, they lose all relevance. Some people think moving on means forgetting, but it doesn't. Moving on means remembering who you are. It means understanding that your future is bigger than your past. It means knowing that what's ahead of you is more important than what's behind you. You will always remember what happened. You will always remember who hurt you, who betrayed you, who didn't appreciate you. But remembering does not mean dwelling. It does not mean reliving the pain. It does not mean carrying that weight with you everywhere you go. It means using it as fuel, using it as motivation, using it as a reminder of why you need to stay focused. Every time you feel the urge to check on them, to wonder what they're doing, to question if they ever think about you, stop. Redirect that energy, put it into something productive. Put it into something that builds you. Put it into something that takes you one step closer to your dreams. Because the truth is, if you really knew what they were doing, you wouldn't even care. The past is done. The only thing that matters now is your elevation. The best part about focusing on yourself is that one day you will look back and realize how far you've come. You will see how much you've grown, how much you've changed, how much you've built. And when you do, you'll laugh at the fact that you once gave so much energy to people who didn't deserve it. You will wonder why you ever wasted your time thinking about them, why you ever let their opinions affect you, why you ever allowed their presence to disrupt your peace. Because by then you'll be in a completely different place, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even financially. And they will be exactly where you left them. The same mindset, the same habits, the same cycles. That is the beauty of focus. It doesn't just help you move forward, it helps you outgrow. It helps you reach levels that they can no longer access. And that is why you must keep going. That is why you must stay locked in. Because the more you grow, the less they matter. And the less they matter, the more powerful you become. People will try to pull you back. They will try to remind you of who you used to be. They will try to make you feel like you haven't changed, like you haven't grown, like you are still the same person who tolerated their nonsense. But you are not. You have evolved. You have transformed. You have leveled up in ways they never expected. And that intimidates them. That is why they will try to re-enter your life. That is why they will try to test you, to provoke you, to see if they still have access to you. Do not give them that satisfaction. Do not engage. Do not respond. Do not look back. They are only reaching for you because they can feel you slipping away. They can see you outgrowing them. They can sense that they are becoming irrelevant to you. And nothing scares them more than that. So stay focused. Keep building. Keep growing. Keep moving in silence. Because the moment you stop looking for their validation, the moment you stop craving their recognition, the moment you stop needing anything from them, you win. And they become nothing more than a distant memory. There is a version of you that they never thought you would become. A version that is powerful, disciplined, unbothered. A version that does not seek revenge, does not chase, does not look back. A version that is too focused on building an empire, on creating a legacy, on becoming everything you were meant to be. That is the version you need to step into. That is the version that will take you places they could never go. The moment you commit to that level of focus, the moment you dedicate yourself fully to your own growth, their presence in your mind disappears. And when that happens, when they are no longer a thought, when they no longer affect your energy, when they no longer have any impact on your emotion, that is when you know you truly won. Because they expected to live in your mind forever. They expected to be the reason you hesitated, the reason you doubted, the reason you stayed stuck. But you kept going. You kept rising. You kept building. And in the end, they became exactly what they deserved to be: irrelevant. Seventhly, let God handle them. There are moments in life when people hurt you in ways you never saw coming. They lie, they betray, they manipulate, and they take your kindness for weakness. And in those moments, the natural reaction is to want justice, to want them to feel the same pain they put you through, to make them see the damage they caused. But the truth is, it's not your burden to carry. That's not your battle to fight. Some things are beyond you, and some people are beyond saving. That's where you need to step back and let God handle them, because no one escapes the consequences of their actions. No one mistreats others and walks away without paying a price. You may not see it, you may not hear about it, but it's happening. When you release the need for revenge, when you let go of bitterness, when you put your faith in divine justice, you free yourself. You stop carrying the weight of what they did to you. You stop allowing their actions to consume your energy. You stop letting them live in your mind. Because you trust that God sees all and he will handle them far better than you ever could. The pain they caused you was not unnoticed. The sleepless nights, the moments of self-doubt, the days when you questioned your worth, all of it was seen. And while they may act like they got away with it, like they moved on without consequences, don't be fooled. Life has a way of balancing itself. You reap what you sow. Every action, every choice, every betrayal, it all comes back around. But it's not your job to chase that justice. It's not your responsibility to make them regret what they did. Because the moment you try to take revenge into your own hands, you lower yourself to their level. You allow their actions to dictate your character. And you are better than that. You are stronger than that. Let God handle them. Let him be the one to deliver the lessons they need to learn, because his justice is always right. His timing is always perfect. And when he handles them, it will be in a way that teaches them far more than anything you could ever do. That is why you must release it. Let go and trust that he's already working. People who harm others don't realize the weight of what they've done until life forces them to face it. At first, they may seem unbothered. They may laugh. They may act like they've won, like they've moved on without a care in the world. But deep down, their actions follow them. They may not feel it immediately, but the weight of their choices will catch up to them. There will come a day when they will look around and realize they lost something they can't get back. They will realize that their own actions led them to emptiness, loneliness, regret. But again, that is not for you to force. That is not for you to orchestrate. That is for God to handle. Your only job is to move forward. Your only responsibility is to heal, to grow, to become so focused on your own journey that what they did to you no longer has any power over you. Because the more you focus on them, the more you delay your own blessings. The more you hold on to anger, the more you block the good things that are meant for you. Let it go. Let God take care of it. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean excusing what they did. It doesn't mean acting like it didn't hurt. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself. It's about choosing peace over resentment. It's about releasing yourself from the mental chains that keep you bound to the past. When you hold on to anger, when you hold on to the desire for revenge, you are the one suffering. They are not losing sleep over it. They are not carrying the same weight you are. But the moment you give it to God, the moment you release the pain, you take your power back. You reclaim your joy. You create space for new blessings to enter your life. You show yourself that you are stronger than what happened to you. Because you are not a victim, you are not weak, you are not defined by what they did, you are defined by how you rise after it. And rising means trusting that justice will be served in its own time, in its own way. It means letting God handle them while you handle your own growth, your own happiness, your own future. You cannot grow while looking back. You cannot step into your purpose while holding on to bitterness. What they did was wrong, it was unfair, it was painful, but it is not the end of your story. Your life does not stop because of their actions. In fact, their betrayal may be the very thing that pushes you into a greater version of yourself. But you won't see that if you're still consumed with thoughts of revenge. You won't see that if your mind is still wrapped up in anger. God removes people for a reason. He allows certain things to happen, not to break you, but to shape you. Because he knows what's ahead. He knows that the version of you that he is building cannot carry dead weight. The people who hurt you were never meant to go where you are going. And that's why you need to let go. That's why you need to trust that his plan is greater than your pain. That's why you need to believe that whatever was taken from you will be replaced with something so much better. Karma is real, but it's not your job to deliver it. Life has a way of making sure that people face the consequences of their actions. They may think they got away with it. They may think they will never feel the same pain they put you through, but life has a way of bringing everything full circle. And when that day comes, when they finally realize what they lost, when they finally understand the damage they caused, they will have to sit with that. They will have to carry that weight. They will have to live with the knowledge that they destroyed something they could never get back. But by then you will have moved on. By then you will be thriving. By then their regret will no longer matter to you. And that is why you have to focus on yourself now. That is why you have to put your energy into your own healing, your own growth, your own future. Because the best revenge is not in watching them suffer. The best revenge is in not caring at all. It's in living a life so full, so blessed, that their absence feels like a gift. They will remember you. They will remember the kindness you gave. They will remember the love you showed. They will remember the way you were always there when they needed you. And when they look around and realize they no longer have access to you, when they realize they can never undo the pain they caused, that will be their karma. That will be their lesson. But you won't be waiting for it. You won't be sitting around hoping for the day they regret it, because by then you will be too busy living. You will be too focused on becoming everything they never thought you could be. You will be too blessed to be bitter. That is what happens when you let God handle them. That is what happens when you release the need for revenge and trust that everything will unfold exactly as it should. You win by moving forward. You win by becoming stronger. You win by refusing to let their actions define your future, because they thought they had power over you. They thought they could break you. You proved them wrong. There is freedom in surrender. There is peace in letting go. The weight you've been carrying, the pain you've been holding on to, it's time to release it. It's time to trust that what is meant for you will never require you to hold on to bitterness. It's time to believe that God is already handling everything behind the scenes. You don't need to watch. You don't need to know when it happens. You don't need to concern yourself with how justice is served. Your only job is to walk forward. Your only job is to step into the life you deserve. Your only job is to rise above the hurt, to heal, to thrive, to become so focused on your own joy that what they did no longer even crosses your mind. Because the moment you let go, the moment you release the burden, the moment you choose to trust instead of chase revenge, you unlock a new level of peace. You step into a version of yourself that is untouchable. And that is how you truly win. That is how you truly move on. That is how you let God handle them while you step into the life He always had waiting for you. Ably elevate your circle, leave them behind. There comes a time in life when you have to make a decision. Either you keep dragging the same people with you or you rise without them. Not everyone who started the journey with you is meant to finish it. Some people were only meant to be part of a chapter, not your entire story. And yet, too often, we hold on to people out of comfort, out of history, out of loyalty, that they don't even reciprocate. But if you want to elevate your life, if you want to step into the greatness that was meant for you, you must be willing to leave some people behind. That is not cruelty, that is growth, that is wisdom, that is self-preservation. Because the truth is, not everyone is happy for you. Not everyone in your circle wants to see you win. Some people are only there because they benefit from the version of you that remains small, uncertain, and easy to manipulate. The moment you start growing, the moment you start shining, they become uncomfortable. They start questioning why you're changing. But you are not changing, you are evolving. And anyone who cannot handle your growth was never meant to stay. When you start leveling up, you begin to notice who truly supports you and who only tolerates you. Some people love having access to you when you are struggling. But the moment you begin to rise, they feel threatened. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to who claps for you when you win and who stays silent. Pay attention to who encourages your growth and who tries to make you feel guilty for wanting more. Real friends, real supporters, real people who love you will never try to hold you back. They will celebrate your victories as if they were their own. But those who secretly resent you will show themselves. They will downplay your success. They will remind you of your past to make you question your future. They will make little comments disguised as jokes, trying to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. That is when you must decide. Do you keep them around for the sake of history, or do you walk away for the sake of your future? Because the more you hold on to them, the more they will drag you down. You cannot reach your highest potential if you are constantly carrying dead weight. It is not your job to convince people to support you. It is not your responsibility to shrink yourself to make others feel comfortable. If your growth intimidates them, that is their problem, not yours. You do not owe anyone an explanation for wanting more out of life. You do not owe anyone an apology for outgrowing spaces that no longer serve you. Some people were fine with you as long as you were struggling, as long as you were settling, as long as you were not a threat to their mediocrity. But the moment you start elevating, they start acting different. They become distant, or worse, they try to sabotage you. You need to recognize when someone's energy shifts. You need to acknowledge when someone's presence is no longer a blessing but a burden. And when that happens, you must be strong enough to walk away. You must be bold enough to choose your future over familiarity. Because the longer you keep the wrong people around, the harder it will be to attract the right ones. Elevation requires separation. You cannot soar while holding on to people who were never meant to fly with you. The higher you climb, the more selective you must become with your circle. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone is meant to sit at your table. Some people only want proximity to your success without contributing to it. They want to be around when things are good, but they don't pour into you the way you pour into them. Relationships, friendships, partnerships, family, connections. They should be reciprocal. They should add value to your life, not drain you. If you are the only one giving, if you are the only one supporting, if you are the only one being genuine, then you are not in a real relationship. You are in a one-sided transaction. That is not healthy. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, people who inspire you to keep growing, but you will never find them if you keep entertaining people who have no intention of growing themselves. You cannot force someone to elevate. You cannot carry people who are committed to standing still, and you certainly cannot afford to let their limitations become your own. You must make the choice to move forward, even if it means moving alone. Loneliness is not the enemy. Staying stuck in the wrong environment is. Too many people hold on to toxic relationships, unhealthy friendships, and draining connections because they are afraid of being alone. But being alone is not a punishment. Being alone is where you find clarity. Being alone is where you rediscover yourself. Being alone is where you make room for the right people to enter your life. Because the truth is, God cannot bless you with new connections if your life is still filled with the wrong ones. You keep asking for better friendships, better relationships, better opportunities, but are you making space for them? Or are you still holding on to people who are only meant to be temporary? Let them go. Let them make their exit. Stop forcing bonds that were never meant to last. You are elevating, you are transforming, and that requires you to release anything and anyone that no longer aligns with where you are going. The more you hold on to them, the more they will hold you back. The more you try to force a connection, the more resistance you will feel in your own life. Let them go and watch how quickly you start to grow. Some people will never admit they were wrong. Some people will never acknowledge the way they treated you. They will never apologize. They will never change. And they will never be the kind of person you needed them to be. But that is not your problem. That is not your battle. Your job is not to wait for closure. Your job is not to keep the door open, hoping they will one day realize your worth. Your job is to move forward regardless. Because at the end of the day, their inability to appreciate you does not define your value. Their unwillingness to grow does not mean you should stop growing. Do not let someone's lack of accountability keep you from stepping into your greatness. Do not let someone's refusal to evolve make you question your own path. They are who they are. They made their choices. Now you have to make yours. And if that choice means leaving them behind, then so be it. Because your future is too important. Your peace is too valuable. Your purpose is too great to be compromised by people who refuse to meet you at the level you are destined for. The best revenge is success. The best way to make them regret underestimating you, mistreating you, or doubting you is to become everything they never thought you could be. But you cannot do that while still entertaining their negativity. You cannot do that while still allowing them to have access to your life. You must distance yourself from anything that drains your energy. You must protect your space, your mind, your peace. Because the people who truly love you, the people who truly want the best for you, they will support your growth. They will encourage your success. They will celebrate your elevation. And those who don't, let them watch from a distance. Let them see you thrive without them. Let them realize too late that they had a front row seat to your greatness and took it for granted. Because by the time they recognize what they lost, you will be too far ahead for it to matter. That is how you elevate. That is how you rise. By leaving behind everything that no longer serves you and stepping fully into the life you were always meant to live. Lastly, keep walking in grace and power. There will always be moments in life when people test you, betray you, or underestimate you. Some will try to bring you down. Some will doubt your ability, and some will intentionally place obstacles in your path. But no matter what they do, no matter what they say, you must keep walking in grace and power. You must keep moving forward with unwavering faith and unshakable confidence. You are not defined by the negativity of others. You are not controlled by their opinions or their actions. The moment you allow someone else's behavior to dictate your response, you give them power over you. But when you choose to rise above it, when you choose to walk in grace, you show them that nothing they do can break you. You show them that your strength is not dependent on their approval. You show them that you were built for something greater. That is how you win, not by lowering yourself to their level, not by seeking revenge, not by proving yourself to people who don't deserve your energy, but by continuing to move forward with dignity and purpose. Because the higher you climb, the less you have time for anything that tries to pull you down. Walking in grace and power means understanding that your worth is not tied to how others treat you. Some people will try to bring chaos into your life just to get a reaction out of you. They will push your buttons, test your patience, and do everything they can to make you step out of character. But you must not give them that satisfaction. You must not let their negativity shake your spirit. When you operate from a place of grace, You recognize that their actions are a reflection of them, not you. You refuse to let their darkness dim your light. You hold your head high, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect, because you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table, and you know that anyone who tries to bring you down is already beneath you. So you keep walking, you keep growing, you keep rising. You do not explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You do not argue with those who are determined to misjudge you. You let them say what they want, think what they want, and believe what they want, because at the end of the day, their opinions have no effect on your destiny. People will expect you to react when they hurt you. They will expect you to break down, to lash out, to lose yourself in anger or bitterness. But the most powerful thing you can do is to rise above it. When you walk in grace and power, you refuse to give them the reaction they are hoping for. Instead of getting lost in the pain, you channel it into progress. Instead of wasting energy on those who wronged you, you pour it into becoming the best version of yourself. You do not chase people who walked away. You do not beg for closure that was never meant to come. You do not waste your breath trying to make someone see your worth when they were blind to it from the start. You keep walking, you keep building, you keep evolving, because the truth is, nothing frustrates those who tried to break you more than seeing you unbothered. Nothing makes them regret their actions more than realizing they had no real impact on you. Your strength, your resilience, your ability to move forward without them, that is the greatest response you could ever give. There is a power in silence that most people will never understand. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop reacting to everything, when you stop trying to prove yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you, you take back control. You reclaim your peace. You protect your energy. Because not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves a response. Some people thrive on conflict. They live for drama. They feed off your reaction. And the moment you refuse to engage, the moment you step back and let them talk while you keep moving, they lose their power over you. That is grace. That is wisdom. That is knowing that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on people who do not deserve it. The most powerful people in the world do not seek revenge. They do not waste time on petty battles. They do not explain themselves to those who are not ready to understand. They walk with confidence, knowing that everything they need is already within them. They walk with grace, knowing that their silence speaks louder than words. They walk with power, knowing that their success will say everything that needs to be said. Some battles are not meant to be fought. Some situations are meant to be left alone, not because you are weak, not because you are afraid, but because they are beneath you. Walking in grace and power means knowing when to walk away. It means knowing when to let things go. It means refusing to let small-minded people drag you into their small-minded games. You have bigger things to focus on. You have greater things to achieve. Your energy is sacred, your peace is priceless, and you must protect it at all costs. You do not owe anyone an explanation for why you choose peace over conflict. You do not owe anyone a reaction simply because they are trying to provoke you. Your growth, your wisdom, your ability to walk away from negativity, that is what makes you powerful. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them create their own narratives. Meanwhile, you keep building, you keep evolving, you keep rising, because at the end of the day, their words hold no weight in the life you are creating. Their opinions do not define you. Their negativity does not shape your future. You are too strong, too wise, too focused to be distracted by people who are never meant to walk with you. When you walk in grace and power, you stop seeking validation from people who don't even believe in themselves. You stop waiting for their approval, their acceptance, their acknowledgement. You realize that your journey is yours alone. You understand that not everyone will see your vision. Not everyone will understand your dreams. Not everyone will support your growth. And that's okay. You were not meant to be understood by everyone. You were not meant to be liked by everyone. Your purpose is bigger than their opinion. Your mission is greater than their judgment. So you keep walking. You keep trusting the process. You keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does. Because at the end of the day, the only person who truly needs to believe in you is you. The only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. The only approval you need is the one that comes from knowing you are walking in alignment with your purpose. And when you embrace that truth, when you stop seeking validation from the wrong places, you step into a level of power that no one can take from you. True grace is not just in how you carry yourself when things are good. It isn't how you respond when things go wrong. It isn't how you handle setbacks, how you endure storms, how you rise after every fall. Life will test you. People will test you. But your strength is in how you keep moving forward regardless. You do not let pain make you bitter. You do not let disappointments make you fearful. You do not let failure make you doubt yourself. You take every hardship, every betrayal, every struggle, and you turn it into fuel. You let it refine you, not destroy you. Because the most powerful people are not the ones who have never faced hardship. They are the ones who have walked through the fire and come out stronger. And that is who you are. That is what you are made of. You are not easily shaken. You are not easily broken. You keep walking with your head held high and your faith unshaken, knowing that everything you have been through has only made you stronger. That is what it means to walk in grace and power. That is what it means to rise above. There is nothing more powerful than a person who refuses to be broken. A person who keeps going, keeps believing, keeps growing, no matter what life throws at them. That is strength. That is grace. That is power. Keep walking, keep believing, keep rising, because nothing and no one can stop you. Nothing is more devastating than watching someone they tried to destroy rise up stronger, wiser, and more blessed. That's you. That's your story. Now go, be unshakable, be unstoppable. Let them sit in the regret they created while you walk into everything God has for you.